And now I shall give the call to the new member for Mount Lawley.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for that, and I also, before I commence, would like to recognise the member for Oakford's most entertaining delivery of his address and reply. I look forward to his continuation, if there is one. Mr. Speaker, before I continue, congratulations on your appointment to the elevation to the position of Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I commence today by paying my respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we are on today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and I acknowledge all elders, past, present and emerging. I recognise all First Nations people and recognise them for their stewardship of this great land we all call home. I accept your customs and traditions as ours, and I thank you for enriching our society with your culture. Acting Speaker, it is indeed an honour to have this opportunity to humbly rise before you on as one of the 59 elected members of this 42nd Parliament of Western Australia, and as only the 7th member for the seat of Mount Lawley. It is indeed an honour to be one of the 59 individuals who sit in this chamber who my community chose to represent them in this Parliament. They have entrusted me with this great honour to follow in the footsteps of those who have had the privilege to come before us. Individuals who, like us, had the unwavering desire to come together with a manifested decency of collective spirit to serve the people of our great state and, of course, our local communities. From the outset, allow me to acknowledge the contributions many individuals have made to shaping me into the person who stands before you today, all worthy of mention, and while in my heart I wish I could name them all, I know that if I did, there would be little time to speak of anything else. I look forward to the occasions, though, when I can rise in this chamber again throughout my term and speak about them individually, their endeavours, and of course their achievements. However, I do believe there are some that deserve special mention, as not only have they contributed to my development as a person, but they have offered me genuine friendship and guidance while believing in my abilities to pursue my own political aspirations, which has led me here today. Roger Cook, the late Con Shaka, Rita Safiotti, Paul Papalia, Tony Booty, Daniel Pastorelli, David Michael, Dan Caddy, Amber Jade Sanderson, John Carey, Reese Whitby, Nick and Vince Catania, Kim and Hannah Beasley, Senator Francesca Giacobbe, Santo Santoro, Ron Edwards, Ian Taylor, Jan McFarlane, Bob Coutura, and of course the former member for Mount Lawley, Simon Millman. I single out the late Con Shaka and Nick Catania particularly, as they not only offered me their friendship and guidance, but they provided me with immense encouragement through the inspiration of their own stories, which I have always coupled with those provided to me by the several and the many. However, there are significant others who have played a central role in my life. To my immigrant grandparents, Francesco Paolino and Immacolata De Lucchio, and Antonino and Giovanna Michelizzi, and my mother Carmela, who courageously left behind their homelands, their family, their friends, and everything they had come to know, so that we could be given the opportunities they believed Australia could provide us. To my mother Carmela and my father Angelo, who gave us our values through their undying love, affection, and never-ending commitment to provide for me, my brother Anthony, and my sister Christina, who are watching online from Brisbane. To Loretta, who shared the journey with me. Together, we have brought 3 beautiful children into this world, Angelo, Giorgio, and Gianna, 3 special humans who provide me immense pride and every satisfaction a father could ever desire from his children. Acting Speaker, I am the grandson of a tobacco farmer, a cleaner, a homemaker, and a cabinet maker. I'm the son of an electrician, and I'm the son of a social worker. I grew up on the outskirts of Brisbane in a place called Stafford Heights. Stafford Heights and the surrounding suburbs has some very strong similarities as the Mount Lawley electorate. Like many Australian families, I grew up with my grandparents living only a few hundred metres away from me. However, may I say that the bike ride to get from my house to theirs was somewhat of a journey, as I would stop to talk to all the Italians along the way. I must say that I did get somewhat nostalgic one Saturday morning walking down Norfolk Street in North Perth while on the campaign trail, as the smells of fresh pasta sauce cooking in preparation for the Sunday family dinner, together with the sounds of the 60s and 70s Italian hit parade songs playing on the Italian radio, bellowed from the homes into the streets, took me back to when I was a boy growing up. And that's what makes my community great. The homes, the history, the smells, the colour of the streetscapes, and of course the people. I arrived here in 2008 as a state representative of the not-for-profit welfare and social assistance organisation, INAS. The best way to describe this office and what I did is to call it the Italian Centrelink. Unlike others in this place, I did not come for love, but may I say, I fell in love with Western Australia. My initial connections on my arrival are now the area which I am proud to represent. So for me, it's like going full circle. I remember at that time driving down streets like Walcott Street, Beaufort Street and Fitzgerald Street, and recognising the development of houses and buildings which signified moments in time. It's something you can still see today. As you drive and walk down the streets, you can see the evolution of the community and the significance of landmarks like the Mount Lawley cenotaph, located at the corner of Queen's Crescent and Clifton Avenue. The Swan River in the east, where you can feel the spiritual presence of our nation's first people. The vibrancy of Beaufort Street, an example of where significant places of interest like the Astor Theatre and restaurants and cafes and bars are all representative of the enterprising will of the small business owner, and of a synagogue in Menorah, which reminds us of reverence and respect. It's the old and the new. It's an area proud of its heritage and history, and it is here where I wish to recognise the tireless work of the Mount Lawley Society, who since being founded in 1977 has dedicated itself to the preservation of the heritage and history of Mount Lawley, Inglewood and Menorah. As Perth continued to expand through the post-war period, new areas like Yokine, a word derived from the Noongar language meaning dingo, emerged around a swampy area now known as Dog Swamp, together with its neighbouring suburbs of Coolbinia, Dianella and Morley. Acting Speaker, like many other places in Western Australia, Mount Lawley has been built by people that have come here from all over the world, searching for greater opportunities that lie beyond the horizons. It is my view that that one word, opportunity, is the common denominating connector that binds all migrants from first convict to last skilled worker, who with the generations that followed weaved the rich social tapestry that is Western Australia today, a beacon of multiculturalism that shines brightly for the world to admire. In other words, in the context of multiculturalism, opportunity is more than a unilateral concept. I believe the Australian social opportunity is a universal imperative of our society's cultural prosperity that is exemplified by the quality of life we have all come to enjoy. Acting Speaker, I believe in multiculturalism, and I recognise the contribution that migrants like my grandparents have made to the socio-economic and cultural development of Mount Lawley and Western Australia. As a community volunteer of 31 years, predominantly in the Italian and wider multicultural communities of Australia, I understand the significance of multiculturalism when I say it. Although the establishment of the seat of Mount Lawley is relatively recent, its history stretches back to the beginning of the 20th century, and since that time, Italians, Greeks, Chinese, Macedonians, Indians and Vietnamese, amongst others, have arrived here to make new lives for themselves and their families. And today, a number of organisations exist in the Mount Lawley electorate, and they are represented here in the gallery. Their legacy is still evident today, be it at the Laguna Veneto Club in Dianella, or at the Chinese language school at Mount Lawley Senior High School on a Sunday morning. The cultural diversity of my community enriches us and underpins our modern multicultural framework that we continue to appreciate today. I'm proud to represent the Jewish community of Western Australia, the largest in our state. A community that continues to contribute significantly to the local community and the wider Western Australia community through their colourful culture, pursuit to raise awareness of their history, through education and genuine spirit of friendship and respect. The Jewish influence can be found throughout our local area, like the Temple of David Shul in Mount Lawley, the J-Hub on Woodrow Avenue, the suburb of Menorah, named after the Jewish candelabra used in the celebration of Hanukkah, Friedman Road after Rabbi David Isaac Friedman, Breckler Park, and there are many other examples. As I stand here in this chamber on the eve of the Jewish festivity of Passover, I send my regards to the Jewish community of Western Australia, knowing full well that I understand the difficult times that you are facing. I am with you, and like I have done with every community, I embrace you warmly and look forward to the day where peace in our communities can be restored. So to the Jewish community of Western Australia, I say, Hag Sameach, happy Passover to you all. As you can see, Speaker, notwithstanding my electorate being the smallest state electorate in Western Australia, Mount Lawley is a place for everyone. Education is another important area I am passionate about. I believe that all students should be treated equally and without distinction of background or social class. In fact, former Prime Minister Gough Whitlam said it best when he said, and I quote, "We are all diminished when any of us are denied proper education. The nation is the poorer, a poorer economy, a poorer civilisation because of this human and national waste." The delivery of good education is one of the most treasured gifts we could ever give our children. Mount Lawley is home to many public and private primary and secondary schools and the Mount Lawley TAFE campus. Yokine, Sutherland Dianella, West Morley, Mount Lawley Primary Schools, East Metropolitan Language Centre, Sir David Brand, and the Kulbinia Primary School, which this year celebrates its 70th anniversary. St Paul's in Mount Lawley, Infant Jesus in Morley, Our Lady's Assumption, and the Banksia Montessori Primary School, both in Dianella. And not only Mount Lawley can boast, and not only this, Mount Lawley can boast schools of diverse culture and faith, like the Carmel School in Yokine and the Australian Islamic College in Dianella, both within walking distance of each other. Our secondary schools, Mount Lawley Senior High School and Perth College, are among the best performing in the state. Our Mount Lawley TAFE facility is a key learning institution focused on health and health services and nursing. Throughout our schools and learning centres, school principals and educators provide our children with the power of knowledge through education. I acknowledge the hard work they deliver every day so that our children can be the best they can possibly be as they walk and grow through life. Acting Speaker, we all know that life's trajectory is not always linear, but rather one that is characterised by trials and tribulations, which impact the human mind, the spirit, and disrupt the ability to prosper. Mental health is a very real, large issue for a number of Western Australians. I have experienced firsthand, Mr. Acting Speaker, the impacts of mental health on men, women, children and families, I can assure you it's hurtful and it's cruel. It has devastating outcomes for everyone, including our community, often leaving people asking, if only I knew. I believe that the stigma around mental health is still very real in my community, and it's something that I want to break down as I go through my term in this place. I want to continue raising awareness through education so that we can become more susceptible to the signs, and as genuine friends to humankind, we can offer support. There is no shame about speaking out about our challenges. There is no burden. Acting Speaker, as you could probably tell, I could speak for an incredibly long time about the things that I am passionate about. Housing, homelessness, the economy, health, the arts and culture, transport and infrastructure, all important areas of government of interest to me and my community. Acting Speaker, can I seek an extension of time?
Extension granted.
And I'd like to thank the Attorney-General for reminding me. These areas of interest are not only important to me but my community. However, but before I move on, I want to offer some reflections, if I may. Since beginning this address, I have provided you with an insight into who I am, my family values, the pride of my Italian heritage, my culture, my origins, and how it intertwines with my ongoing pursuit to be the best Australian I can possibly be. My community and my commitment to it, combined with the spirit of giving back. What I believe in, the importance of education, mental health, multiculturalism, a fair and equal community, one of peace, of cohesion and respect for the rights of the individual to pursue prosperity and to reach their full potential. Acting Speaker, I commenced this address with a reflection on the past, and following in the footsteps of those before me. I mentioned Simon Millman, my predecessor, who I pay tribute to. Simon will always be a local Mount Lawley legend. His service to the people of Mount Lawley is one hallmarked by several key achievements, and I thank him for moving our community forward during his time of service. I spoke passionately about education and the importance of it here where I move the past and into the future. I conveyed my thoughts on opportunity, and I say that, like the past, there are many opportunities that lie ahead. It is now my responsibility to point the way forward to the future and for the future. And in the not too distant future, the Mount Lawley electorate will be provided with the most important transformative opportunity in its history as Edith Cowan University Mount Lawley relocates to the Perth CBD. It is a transformation that has the potential for us to create a new landmark, one that is visionary, one that epitomises culture and the arts, and more importantly, one that offers new education opportunities. This is our prerogative to seize the rare opportunity to transform this space that continues to be of benefit to the Mount Lawley community and a destination beneficial for all Western Australians. You can therefore imagine my delight when a Cook Labor government announced a commitment to plan a new primary school, Mount Lawley West Primary School, as part of a future of the ECU redevelopment. This significant commitment will form part of the exciting new precinct for the broader Mount Lawley community for generations to come. Another one of my priorities is safer roads, particularly around school precincts. Our population has grown significantly, which means there are more cars on our roads, more cyclists use our roads, and more children that are crossing our roads. Acting Speaker, I had well over 10,000 conversations during the election campaign, well over. And one of the most frequent positive comments I would receive was about Metronet. It was so frequent, and what they were saying was how great it was that they could travel to the city and to the airport for almost next to nothing, or for nothing. Acting Speaker, as you can see, the benefits of Metronet have positively impacted my community. Together with safer roads, mentioned earlier, major infrastructure projects including a possible future expansion of Metronet is something my community would welcome. As you can see, Acting Speaker, these are three large priorities that I pledge to work hard for, three of many, might I add, that are destined to change the face and the lives of my community for the benefit of everybody. But all this could only happen with a Labor government, with a Cook Labor government. A Cook Labor government that has the courage to make the big calls and to do the big things. Look to the future, look towards new frontiers, finding opportunities that takes communities forward like only Labor governments can do, because we are the ones that believe in it. I'm proud to serve in this Cook Labor government. We are the party of working Western Australians for Western Australia. We always have been, and we always will be. I'm proud to be Labor. The role of the union movement, which is paramount to ensuring that workers are safeguarded against all forms of exploitations. And we are lucky, Acting Speaker, that in Western Australia we have good unionists doing good things, protecting the rights of everyday Australians in multiple sectors, from construction to nursing and midwifery to hospitality and retail. And I acknowledge individuals like Ben Harris, Mick Buchan, Tim Dawson, Romina Roskilla, Brad Gandy, and all the secretaries of every union that operates throughout this great state and, of course, Australia. The union movement will always play a significant role in our industrial landscape for as long as the lives of workers and their safety is threatened, or where the rights of workers and their paying conditions are in danger of being stripped from them. Acting Speaker, hundreds of people worked on the Mount Lawley campaign to get me here as their member. They are special individuals who walked the streets with me, made phone calls with me, they came to events with me, and they letterboxed for me. To all of you, I say thank you. There are no words that can describe how grateful I am for everything that you have done for me. You honoured me with your friendship, and you encouraged me to do more. I could not have done any of this without you. Thank you for believing in me. But a huge group of volunteers needs leadership, and that was provided in spades by the Honourable Matthew Swinburne MLC, who directed the campaign, to Clacy Hurst, who managed the campaign, to the campaign committee, Dane Williams, Hannah Meyer, Jeanette Anderson, Penny Taylor, Lorenzo DeLuca, Lyric Duckett, Calum Hayes and Mario DiVincenzo, to Joanne and Ian Pendlebury, Adrian Pendlebury, and of course Oliver Hurst. Thank you most gratefully for your support and untiring efforts that you dedicated to me for over 10 months. But there is another special individual, someone who has dedicated a lifetime to the Labor movement, and he's now become my good mate. He is Mount Lawley local, Bob Crow. Bob, for those of you who followed me on social media, is my wobbleboarding partner. He is now passed from not only local Mount Lawley legend, but he is now Mount Lawley wobbleboard legend. Post-election, There are people that have been assisting me set up my office so that I could get to work quickly for the people of Mount Lawley. And I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Myra Robinson, Dragana Flynn and Hannah Meyer. Acting Speaker, I hope that I haven't omitted anyone who has assisted me, supported me and guided me, and if I have, I extend heartfelt apologies. However, Acting Speaker, there is one person that I could never forget. And it's a person that never let me give up on my dreams. He walked with me every step of the way, and he's the best friend that I have in this chamber, and that's Steve Catania, the member for Midland. The member for Midland and I have had a long-standing friendship, one that has been strengthened over time by the events and the circumstances that life has thrown to us. And together we have done so much. And I'm very fortunate, Acting Speaker, to walk into this chamber with someone that I can consider a friend amongst many, but also a brother. I look forward to sharing this journey with you, Member for Midland, and of course with all the members in this chamber here today. Acting Speaker, I wish to conclude like I started, acknowledging my family. However, this time I would like to do it in the language of my grandparents. I am told that I am the first person to speak Italian in their inaugural speech in this chamber. The significance of paying tribute to my grandparents is not only a tribute to them, but one I convey to the entire Italian community, its migrants and their descendants. I thank the Speaker for allowing me to convey my message of gratitude in this language. And for your information, the Speaker is referred to as Signor Presidente, but I didn't have it scripted for an acting speaker, so we're going to have to go with it.
I'll allow it.
We'll go with Presidente. Presidente, desidero ringraziarla per avermi concesso l'onore di esprimere 2 parole in italiano per trasmettere un messaggio di ringraziamento non solo ai miei nonni, ma a tutti gli immigranti della nostra comunità italiana. Cara comunità, cari italiani del Western Australia, se noi siamo qui oggi è semplicemente grazie a voi, al vostro sacrificio, al vostro impegno per dare a noi nuove opportunità. Possiamo dire solo grazie. Lastly, to the people of Mount Lawley, who have elected me as their representative in an elected Cook Labor government, I am indeed humbled and immensely grateful. On the 8th of March, you made a clear and decisive choice by voting for the future of our local area, a decision of faithful consciousness, one that will never be taken for granted, and I will always look after your interest and that of our community. And for this, I say thank you.